Hello, how do you do, Scott?
Hello, I recognise that voice. Chris, we're live across Lanzarote and Fuerteventura. And to all our listeners dotted around the world listening online, thank you for joining me and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. That's very kind.
Now, I've got to say, first of all, congratulations. You've got married recently. And according to your wife, Claire, her Twitter account, it seems that already you're pretty handy with a feather duster. Is there any truth in this?
Originally, I'm rich. It's close to Peckham, so we're very handy with dusters.
Excellent. You and Nigel Benn have been having a bit of an exchange of words about the prospect of a third fight. In fact, Nigel actually said it on. It happened.
Well, I should ask you this. Why would he be giving me a deadline? I mean, did he beat me or did I beat him?
Well, that's it. You fought twice and he hasn't beaten you yet.
What? Are you trying to tell me something? Why would you say yet?
Well, I don't think he would beat you, to be honest. I would love to see a third fight getting on. I mean, this goes back to the golden era, for me, of boxing. Tremendous fights, both of them. But would it happen? Is it a publicity stunt? I mean, was Nigel Benn the orchestra looking for a bit of limelight?
Well, he doesn't really need to search for limelight. I mean, after all, he is the Dark Destroyer. He's a great. His is in the history books. He asked me for a third match, and it's not really something I can talk about, to be honest, because I'm not sure agent has been rude to me and my wife, and so at this particular point in time, nothing's happening. No. I've put it out of my mind. I'm busy. I have projects on which I have to attend to. If it was to happen, then it would be in June next year. But there isn't really much more I can say.
No. Well, that's it. I mean that is fair enough. I mean, I know how involved it gets with the promoters and managers. But between you two now, I mean, obviously there was a lot of time, not so much from you, a lot of animosity, but over the years there seems to be so much sort of respect between you guys now, which is great to see.
Well, that's peculiar because when I've met him, he has a spirit that my spirit recognizes. Mm-hmm. And the man is still terrifying. Somehow I'm wary of him.
Yes, yeah.
Or my spirit is wary of his spirit. And for me, he has it written all over him for him to actually have a chance to revenge what happened to do. Mm. What is for sure is this. If something was to happen, then effectively, I would be making an offer to him because he cannot make any offer to me.
In the past, Chris, amazing and sometimes brutal fights with the likes of Ben and, of course, Michael Watson, Joe Kawasaki. I mean, you were not always flavour of the month, at the beginning of the career. I mean, I remember Michael Watson on the classic press conference when he's making reference to your ring entrance, calling you simply a pest. But as the part of their hearts, I mean, is this something that you made a conscious effort of, or is it just as people have got older, they've really started to see the real you?
From the time I had sense in boxing, to stay in character, and that's really all I've done. And what I explained to up and comings now in boxing and business, it doesn't matter whether you talk. It doesn't matter the field. The ingredients are the same. What I expect, one should stay in character. Do not deviate from your character. And in actual fact, everything that I said at the beginning of my career, I stay with today. I was always in love with the sport. I mean, it was very, very difficult to continually stay at it and take all the negatives from the press because I was made out to be the villain. I stayed in character. Yeah. I was supposed to be, if I appeared to be arrogant in those days, then I had the right attitude for the job. Yeah. I never did look at boxing as a sport. It was a way of life. My life was always on the line. And so therefore I had to have an attitude which would fit what I was doing. I had to project fortitude. I had to project resolve and conviction, and resilience and determination. And if you're going to embody these virtues, then you're going to look a particular way. And I was just being real. I was a character. I was acting as I should.
Yeah. I mean, keeping with boxing, Chris, I mean, I've got to mention Chris Jr. as well. I mean, he's now fighting at world level, just like his dad, and it looks like his career is going to be made his way, and not how the boxing fraternity might like it to be made. I mean, there's watching Chris Jr. as well. In fact, my fiance, she says when he's ring, it's all his dancing, like the choreography. It's fantastic to watch. I mean, how far do you think Chris could go? Because I mean, I remember watching the Louis Theroux documentary. It was quite clear that you didn't want like your kids to get involved with boxing. I mean, how did that change, and how far do you think Chris Jr. can actually go in the sport?
This is not really a sport. At least it is to the spectator, but to him, it's a way of life.
Yeah.
Paid heavily in the gym, and so he should be able to realize what he's worked for. Mm-hmm. There are no favors in boxing. He cannot gain any respect because of me. He has to do it. I can direct him, but he's the one who has to step in the firing.
I mean, it was an epic fight with Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, but it was showed the warrior attitude. Obviously, a bit of a chip off the old block there, Chris.
Well, yes. He did lose the fight, in my view. You see, boxing is a game. It's also a way of life, as I said. Mm-hmm. And he got outgamed by Billy Joe Saunders. He got outgamed. The first 3 or 4 he gave away. And I must say that it's a great lesson for him. Great lesson.
Yeah.
Follow strategy. Listen to the people who have been there before you. Take counsel. The fact that he didn't in this one particular fight came on strong at the end, but it's a game. You've got to win the game, which is to score more points than your adversary. Now, in him losing that particular, I think it set him up now for him to actually really blossom in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Chris Eubank. Thank you, many thanks, Chris.
Can you just do one more thing for me?
Of course I can.
That is to play Stay With Me, Sam Smith, one of my favourite singers of today, Sam Smith, for my wife and I.
Brilliant. Claire, I know Claire is listening as well. That's coming up in a few seconds' time. Chris, take care, and once again, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Power on FM, Scotty Silver.